So recently I had did a video where I was talking about, changing my mindset over debt. And I was saying that, with student loans, I'm still trying to, get that under control compared to, let's say, credit card debt and my auto loan. And so with my credit card debt, I haven't had credit card debt in several years, and I make sure to pay my credit cards off every month. And then for my auto loan, you guys, I had paid off $20,000 in 1 year. And at that time, I was only bringing home $3,400. So then when I think about it, and that's why I was saying in the video, like, man, I can't even believe I did that. Like, how did I do it? But of course, I know how I did it. And I actually did a video about it at that time. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that in the description. But in this video, I really want to kind of talk about it a little bit more and discuss, well, how did I pay off $20,000 in 1 year of the auto loan? But really, you can use this for any debt that you have. So let's get into it. So in my last video, I was talking about changing my mindset. And I think really that's the number one big thing that I feel like that I needed to do. And when I think about other goals that I've had, it's just like when I really, really know that I want to do something, it's like it really doesn't matter. Nothing is going to get in my way. I'm going to do it. But then let's say for other things, even if you do make a goal, or if I make a goal, I might not, it's like I'll do it a little bit, but then I won't. And so I think that the number one thing is to change our mindset. Because when I had got that auto loan, so I had got the auto loan in October of 2021. And then December of 2021, that's when I had made the first payment. And so I had just made just like a regular payment. And then by the time that January came, y'all, I had done crunched the numbers a couple of different times. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm really going to do this. And so the number one thing that I did first, of course, is going to be budget. Y'all know I wasn't going to get out of here without saying budget. But I really think besides changing our mindset of how we feel about different things, it has to have a budget. Because really with a budget, we want to create our starting point, because we got to know how much money do we have coming in compared to going out, and then how much money we're going to have left over. Because you know how you will create a goal and then it's just like, you'll get money in and stuff like that. But it's like, if you don't have a plan for it, then by the time you go to do whatever it is that you're going to do, then the money is not there. So that's why I think that it's very important to do the budget, so that, have an understanding of how much is coming in compared to going out, and how much that I'm going to have left over. And so that was like the number one thing, creating a budget. And then the second thing is creating the goal. And so originally when I had the auto loan, I had got the auto loan, I want to say it was for 60 months. And then, but even when I had first got it, I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to do it in 60 months. I'm going to do it in 30 months. But then once I had got the first payment and then the second payment, when I had got those paid, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to do it in a year. And I'm just like, I don't even know what made me do it now that I'm thinking back. Because like I said, at that time, I was only bringing home $3,400 a month, but the auto loan was low in a sense, because it's just like, on the one hand, I didn't want an auto loan that was, very expensive. I really just wanted it. So the auto loan was only $357. So I feel like that's kind of average in a sense. And, so I was just like, I think I can do that. And so then once I started, crunching the numbers and things like that, I was like, I'm going to do it within a year. And so once I did my budget, and I'm like, okay, I have this much coming in. And then I created the goal. So I'm going to go from 60 months to 30 months to a year. And then I was pretty much locked in. And so the next month, what I was doing, I was still crunching the numbers. And so number 3 is, when am I going to get some extra money? So I know that I have my budget. I know how much extra I have left over, and I'm going to pay that. But then also, when am I going to have some extra money? So at that time, let's say if you get a bonus, you get income taxes, and then also, 2 to 3 times a year, we get paid 3 times in 1 month. So if you are weekly or bi-weekly, you'll get paid 2 to 3 times in a month. And so I want to say that year we had got paid 2 times extra that month, 2 times. And so basically, probably the first time that I had got an extra check, I just put that money towards the auto loan. And then if I got any extra money, I put it towards the auto loan. And then, let's say if you don't want to do that, then you can put some. And so then it's going towards the goal. But I think that it's good to, just kind of look through there and see, am I going to be getting any extra money? Is there something going on? And then really, even, do I really want to consider, doing a side hustle or something like that? Additionally, I did a savings challenge. So during that year, I had did a 26-week savings challenge of $5,000, but really for the whole year, I ended up saving $10,000. But really, in my mind, when I'm thinking about it, I think ultimately the most important piece is have to create a goal. One, you got to create a goal, and then you have to do a budget. And I think those two things, because ultimately we have to know how much money is coming in. And then once we know how much money is coming in, then it's just like everything else will fall into place. But then also we really have to want to see that goal out, because how I'm thinking about it is I was able to stick to the plan for paying off the auto loan. But then on the same hand, with my student loans, it's just like, it's like I'll kind of start it and then I won't, But I will say that for my student loans, once we had to start paying back our student loans, then I have been making that payment, but I wasn't putting no extra payments on it. You see what I'm saying? But this year, I've been making my payment and I've been putting a little extra on there. So I'm just trying to get that momentum up. But it's just like when I was paying off the auto loan, I didn't really need no momentum. It's just like, boom, I was just with it. But then with my student loans, and so that's why in my mind, I really feel like it has to be, a mindset shift. And so that's what I'm doing. In my opinion, I feel like I really have to change my mindset because, I just have to change my mindset of how I feel about different things. And so, like with credit card debt and with the auto loan and stuff like that, I'm just like, okay, I'm not gonna have that kind of debt. But then with the student loans, it's just like I just tiptoe around it, and I'll pay it, but I have been consistent with just making the regular payment. But then it's just like, how can I put large lump sums of money on it? And so that's where I'm trying to rethink how I feel about the student loans. So you'll have to let me know, how do you feel about different debts? Do you consider it good debt versus bad debt? So let me know in the comments, what are you thinking and what kind of debt are you going to be trying to pay off? And then also go over to my community tab, because I had did a poll and I was asking, well, what financial areas are very important to you right now? Are you trying to pay off debt? Are you trying to save? And then let me know so that I can make sure that I can talk about those topics. And I have a lot of other polls on the community tab as well. But I hope that you found this helpful. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, and turn your notification bell on so you'll be notified when new content drops. I thank you so much for watching. Until next time, are you looking for a way to keep track of your monthly budget? Well, check out my 2025 digital budget planner. I posted it on my Etsy shop. You can go into the description and click on the link. In the budget, you have goal setting, you have a monthly budget, a debt repayment, you have a savings tracker. So check out the 2025 digital budget planner on my Etsy shop. It's not a game.